Good afternoon, everyone. This is an update on Tropical Storm Isaac with 60-mile-per-hour winds. Right now, we're going to take a look at the latest satellite picture. Here's the infrared picture. It's trying to get better organized over the Keys. However, you can see it's encountering some dry air, and one of the biggest enemies to a hurricane is shear over the system. There's some shear starting to develop again in the eastern Gulf. That could change in time, though. We're going to see, if we take a look at the water vapor satellite loop, you can see some of that dry air getting entrained on the southwest side of the hurricane over Cuba here. So as long as that dry air remains intact, it's going to continue to get digested into the hurricane and kind of lopsided a little bit. Now, if we take a look at the latest radar loop out of Key West, there was a 61 mile per hour, over just north of Key West as the system passed just west of over the Keys here. You can see the system does look pretty organized this is GR level 2 radar. So this is fairly high resolution radar showing the bands continuing to wrap around nicely around the center. Now, if we take a look at the track of the storm, here's the track. We expect it to continue north, west, maybe a little bit west. The models have shifted further west again towards New Orleans. So just between Biloxi, Mississippi, over to New Orleans. Somewhere in there is where we think the landfall is going to be now. And this, you can see on the latest spaghetti models here, you can see how they continue to move up over towards Louisiana, Mississippi. Now there is some wind shear that I talked about over the north central Gulf and eastern Gulf. It's questionable whether that's going to subside or not, but if we take a look at the intensity scale here, you can see we have the ship's model putting it all the way up near 110 knots. That is roughly almost a category 4. It's a high 3. Solid 3. So, but if it's going to move through that kind of wind shear and that kind of dry air coming in through it, it's going to have a really hard time. But we think that should begin to subside and it should allow this system to strengthen again. Watches and warnings. We have a bunch of warnings over the Keys. We have tropical storm warnings along the Florida coast, but we also have hurricane watches now from Panhandle, Florida, all the way over to New Orleans. This includes New Orleans now is under a hurricane watch. And this storm could approach the Gulf of Mexico starting later Tuesday into later Wednesday. As far as we have a lot of things going on with where the system goes once it makes landfall. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but this system will recurve north, and it will start to interact with a couple frontal boundaries across the Ohio Valley and Northeast come Labor Day. And there could be the potential for some flooding rains across the Ohio Valley up through the northeastern states, which I will cover later on. It is very far out to be covering that, considering it is out more than a week, but that's something to make note of. So I'm meteorologist Mark Molnar. Check in for a later update from meteomark.com.